educating us on some much needed Ghanaian history. But you recently contested the CPP flag bearer elections. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way that you wanted. What do you believe were the key factors that ultimately influenced the outcome?
I would say that it was one fundamental factor, and that has been the bane of the development of democracy in this country. You know, when Nkrumah returned from abroad, he didn't have one penny or cent on him, but because he had very good ideas and the right ways to address the political issues of the day, people followed him, and in the end, this penniless man became our leader. Today, it appears it's not much so, because they opened nominations. I wasn't interested. I was somewhere not quite interested. I felt my time would be maybe 2028. Then some people in the party, home and abroad, asked me to quickly go for the forms, and they had very good reasons that we are going to have just about 2 months of effective campaigning, because the primaries were held in September. So it means September will not be counted. And then the election is not going to be held on 31st December. It will be 7th December. So it means that you don't have any campaigning in December. So effectively, you are talking about October and then November. And you, Anokye, I mean, they're telling me that you are one person for the past 3 years or so, God has marketed in the country. You know, the people who are going to vote, almost 100% of them are always on social media. And they see you talking about Kwame Nkrumah, national issues, the history of this country. So it means that you stand shoulder higher than anybody who would want to contest the CPP primaries. And it also shows that you have already been marketed, so the 2 months will not count. The 2 months, all we need will be just putting your banners and posters everywhere for the people going to vote to know that the lawyer historian is actually standing on the CPP ticket, period. But in the case of others, you need to introduce them to the hearts and eyes of the country, and it's not easy to do that in 2 months. So that, and me too being an Nkrumah, I felt, yes, I had to do that for my God, for my country, and for my party. And then the second reason being that NDC has a base in the country.
That's right.
So before an election, they know that voter and OT votes are waiting for them, 80% or more waiting. MPP has a base, Eastern and then Ashanti. So about 80% of those votes always waiting for them. The reason why CPP has not fared well is simply because we don't have a base in the country. And to have a base, it happens in America, in UK, everywhere in the world. You must come from a certain place that endorses you as their son. Technically, so you must be somebody like an institution. When you rise up, that whole community rises with you. And for me, it's Western, Central, and Western North, and then Ashanti. Even in the primaries where I didn't fare well, all my votes came from the Ashanti region.
I see.
There is a huge chunk of tribalism in politics, whether you like it or not. Look, in England, the English people would never vote for Labour Party. They vote Conservative. And then Irish people and Scottish would also not vote Conservative. They also vote Labour. So everywhere in the world, people have their identities. That's why this man, Jacob Zuma, formed the party 2 months. He had 15% of the total votes counted, all because of his base. You know, you should be a son of a certain base. And in my case, I'm coming from Kwame Nkrumah's region. And that is a region that has not endorsed MPP or NDC. And it is linked to Western North. You know, the Seshinzema people are white. And then immediately to Central, Sekendi Takrady to Cape Coast. So once you come from that place, I'm not saying you are going to get 100% of the vote, but when you get between 20 and 40% of the vote, that will be enough for the whole country to know that CPP has arisen, because for the first time they have declared a base. Then you start building from there.
So it's not an overnight process.
No, you start building.
Right.
You are not a magician. You start building like Paco Sinduom did. No, this was the same arithmetic that worked for him.
Right.
He hailed from central region, that is southwestern part of Ghana. Then Nkrumah is based. And that is also the area that swings because they don't believe in MPP or NDC.
That's right.
They look at you today and they vote. Next time they change their mind.
Yeah.
So when Paco Sinduom came, even though his votes were split by Professor J.